Faker. The name brings to mind some of the greatest moments in League of Legends history.
Tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves! Faker, what was that?
Both incredible highs and some agonizingly brutal lows. Sang-Hyeok may be esports' biggest star ever, but that doesn't mean you know everything about him. He's a man that appreciates both clean and filthy eating. He's known for keeping some unusual company.
My heart, somebody help me. It's honestly pretty good.
He's not afraid to practice some self-love.
I love me. True.
And he's got some flashy moves, even off the rift.
오빤 강남 스타일.
So we're gonna honor the League of Legends GOAT the only way we know how, by talking about all the weird facts and strange moments of a long career in the spotlight. And if you think the initial details on this list are obvious, just wait until things get really weird.
Please do on the left cheek.
Of course, I even it out. Definitely. Number 2.
Alright guys, before we submerge ourselves in Faker lore, I'm gonna ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. Because if you don't, I think they might make me live on this sub, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there's no latrine on here. Alright guys, seal all the hatches, pressurize the hull, and let's get strapped in to explore the Faker iceberg. Level 1, early days. Alright, so Faker may not need an introduction, but I do think he needs some context. Imagine the year is 2012. You're considering a career in esports, which probably means you live in Korea. And you're so good that, yeah, of course you're gonna drop out of high school to play competitive League of Legends. Well, that's exactly what happened to Faker, who officially kickstarted his League career with SKT in 2013. But there are a few things about this period in the Unkillable Demon King's career that you may not know. Before dropping out to pursue his esports dream, Faker went to Mapo High School, and it just so happens that another LoL legend was attending the school too, Deft. Now, the two weren't classmates, and though Deft had heard of Faker, the two never really interacted or anything. But it's weird to consider that the two would-be greats likely fell asleep in some of the same classrooms. Even weirder is the fact that this place doesn't even have them listed on their alumni page. Like, what the hell? Maybe it's because Faker didn't graduate and Deft was only there for a year, but if it were up to me, there'd be a giant statue of Faker outside that school immediately. A man of many names. You know him as Faker, but his original chosen alias was Gojunpa, which roughly translates to classic or classical. And honestly, that would have been fitting for his career. But he made the switch to Faker because he felt it just sounded cooler. And honestly, great choice. The name is so great, in fact, that in May 2021, someone managed to get the summoner name SKT-T1 Faker and tried to sell it for nearly $40,000 before Riot predictably shut that down. Although Faker is his main account, he also employs alternate aliases in solo queue like Mid-Fekar, and most famously, Hide on Bush. And whenever he leaves Korea for international tournaments, you can regularly find him baptizing scrubs on foreign servers using alter egos. Unkillable Demon King. We just talked about what Faker calls himself, but if you know him, you know his given nickname.
The Unkillable Demon King, Faker!
Why is this his moniker? Well, it's because Faker is damned hard to hit with a skill shot, and if you can't hit him, good luck killing him.
Let's see how Faker does.
Wait for the animation, comes now, flashes it.
Wow. Beautiful.
Weirdly, in a more recent interview, Faker said that he thought the nickname was childish at first, but he eventually came around to it. Record setter. As one of the league's most successful players, Faker holds a number of records in the LCK. Not only is he the first player to play 600 LCK games, but he's also the first to reach 1,000 and 2,000 career kills. But he's also become famous for his mastery of certain champions, including his favorite, LeBlanc, with whom he enjoyed a 12-0 competitive streak back in 2015. Faker was so confident in his ability with the champion that in the grand finals of MSI that year, his opponent's EDG used it to their advantage in the 5th and deciding game of their series.
Faker's LeBlanc, one of the best.
Yes, sir.
He locks it in for Game 5.
Faker has never lost with LeBlanc on the competitive stage.
Unfortunately for Faker, he bit off a bit more than he could chew, as EDG's comp, which was built specifically to counter his LeBlanc, ended his unbeaten run on the Assassin.
In the midseason invitational, here's the last engage. EDG doesn't even see the turrets. Eyes on SKT. SK Telecom T1 are wiped. The Nexus turrets are going down. LPL's Edward Gaming are the 2015 midseason invitational champions.
Okay, that's the obvious stuff out of the way. Let's talk pentakills and penny pinching. How many pentakills? Speaking of LeBlanc, Faker has only one career competition pentakill, and it just so happens to be using that champion. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Only one pentakill? But just watch it and tell me that this isn't exactly the kind of penta that you'd expect from him.
이러면 앞으로 한번 네 여기까지 하고 한번 더
Benching Saga. As one of the greatest to ever do it, you might be surprised to learn that Faker spent a lot of his time in 2015 in a position he wasn't used to, on the bench.
Wait, what's this? What's this I spy in the SKT booth? It's not Faker. It's Easyhoon!
Long story short, League's mid lane meta that year was shifting from assassins to control mages, and that favored Faker's teammate and mid lane rival Easyhoon, who was a master of the newly introduced champion, Azir. For someone as competitive as Faker, playing second fiddle to Easyhoon wasn't going to fly. So after missing out on playing the 2015 LCK Spring Grand Finals, he vowed to work harder to be part of the team's next big victory. And after spending months grinding away at his Azir and solo queue, Faker found himself back in his starting role for most of SKT's games by the end of the year.
Huge for SK Telecom. That it's just easy for them to back off, especially when they're 7K.
Oh, Faker's going in, big flashes and knocks back two people with the Embers of Ice. They're gonna find PDD, and Utara is gonna follow suit, and Faker with the big play underneath the inhibitor tower.
As for Easyhoon, he found himself riding the Pine all the way to China in 2016 to enjoy a big fat payday. Yeah, I'm sure he was really busted up about that move. Friendship with Tyler 1. Faker has plenty to say, but he's got a friend that has him beat in the verbosity department. Tyler 1.
But I'm picking red! T1 out here, Alpha! I feel different! Let's go!
It's a weird pairing for sure, but one made possible by the fact that both are members of the T1 organization.
Have you ever eaten Korean chicken?
I have not.
That's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe we could get some sometime, dude. It could be a date.
Oh, I'm busy. Sorry.
And when the two of them get together, it's just a surreal experience.
Agree to tie?
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm as good as you, and you're as good as me.
Yeah.
And in League of Legends.
No.
Give me that, dude. Come on.
No.
This is what I wanted to show you. Remember?
Oh, figures. I have figure too.
Hey,
Let's go. I am big as hell.
Please do on the left cheek.
Of course. I even it out. Definitely. Number 2. Only one more. Ready? Last one.
All right, that's a wrap.
Hug it out.
No, hug it out. You just assaulted me.
Not the first or the last time that someone from NA had their cheeks clapped in Faker's presence. But as we'll see later, he likes his veggies too.
It was an experience. No, I'm not okay. I just got smacked in the behind 3 times.
I'm so sorry.
That was an experience, but I'm glad I could do it with you, Faker.
Me too.
Frugal Faker? As you might expect, Faker is loaded. But he's not just the highest paid League of Legends athlete in Korea, he's the highest paid Korean athlete, period. And he could have been way richer, apparently, having reportedly turned down a $10 million offer from a Chinese organization. So what's he doing with all this money? Like, where's the T1 Clout House and Faker showing off his collection of sports cars and shoes or whatever? It doesn't exist. I've checked. And apparently it's because Faker just doesn't spend that much money. Like, yeah, he bought an apartment for his parents, but also he apparently spends like a couple $100 a month on himself.
그럼에도 불구하고 한 달에 20만 원밖에 쓰지 않는다.
제가 평소에 좀 돈을 안 씁니다.
그럼 어디다 써요? 그럼 20만 원은?
그냥 뭐 이제 치약 칫솔 없을 때 이제 네, 제가 직접 삽니다.
I probably spend at least that much on just takeout in like 2 weeks. Listen, when you need it, you just need it. The rain whispers Faker. Okay, so if you've been a fan of this channel at all over the past few years, you've of course seen the Faker Ryu outplay. And yeah, Reddit, I get it. We're not going to stop, but I get it.
Tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves. Faker, what was that?
This was a critical moment in Faker's career, one that proved that he was clearly aiming for the top of the Korean scene. And it was a critical game in the moment too, with a blind pick game 5 enabling the Z vs Z mid lane matchup. But the fallout from the event might surprise you. The event for the LCK Summer 2013 finals was actually held outside, on a stage near the Olympic Stadium during a seasonal downpour. And let's just say that Ryu's teammates on KT Rolster had some trouble forgetting about, well, all of it.
비가 왔죠, 비가. 아직도 비 오면 몸서리 칩니다. 잃은 게 너무 많거든요. 울잼스 우승을 놓쳤고, 월드컵을 놓쳤고, 팀 자체가 무너져 버렸어요.
But something people have asked is, since both Shens had ult during this duel, why didn't one of them intervene? Yeah, the game was likely over, and ulting would have taken Insec away from the rest of SKT. But in a now deleted video, Insec said that Ryu told him not to ult because he was going to win the duel. I respect the confidence, but
What was that?
yeah, enough said. Let's take a deeper look at some of his more endearing qualities. Even Faker can have a bad day. Because of his prowess, Faker's solo queue exploits have been covered more than any other player. In fact, there was an entire controversy about this when a Twitch channel that only spectated Faker cropped up during SKT's Azubu deal. But that means that every little mistake gets captured, and probably none has been more memed upon than the time Faker lost a duel to a Gold 4 brand player.
Bruh.
Faker plays a lot of League, so the occasional slip up outside of actual competition is obviously going to happen. But people just can't let this one go, and it's a perennial post on the League subreddit. As for the brand player, they've been playing a lot of ARAM. Guess this outplay won't lead to the birth of a new League of Legends star. Stay healthy. We've all had bad hair days, especially over the last year. But for Faker, a bad hair day led to him eating broccoli on stage at Worlds. It's because that's what a fan said Faker's hair looked like, broccoli. Kinda random, but okay.
I have to give some context here. Faker's holding a stalk of broccoli, and that's because a fan extended the offer to him and said, your hair looks like broccoli. So Faker said, all right, well, if I win, I will eat some broccoli.
The broccoli was referenced again in the official Rise music video for Worlds 2018, and then again in 2020 for the World song Take Over. I can't tell you that eating broccoli will make you better at League, but it is high in fibers, so it might make your losses easier to digest. F is for Flash? Taking Flash is never a question. The only unknown is, do you put it on F or on D? It's a debate that has raged within the League of Legends community for years. So it only makes sense that the game's greatest player ever would have strong opinions about this.
F풀? 난 디플. 상혁이 형은요? 디플이요? 저도 F예요. 근데 사실 일단 라이너마다 이게 풀이 다른데 일단 원딜이 약간 디플이 좀 더 약간 많은 느낌이 약간 없지 않아 있어요. 미안해. 너 디플이야? 나 디플이야. 난 왜 D일까 근데 진짜? 궁금해. 나도 근데 왜 내가 왜 D일까? 나도 근데 왜 D인지 궁금하긴 해. 테디.
Why D? I don't know. I just started that way. Like season 1, that's how I started.
저는 D전멸을 싫어합니다. 좀 그렇네요.
Yeah, it's true that more recently, Faker has said that it's just a matter of preference and everybody should just chill out about it.
D전멸이나 F전멸이나 싸우지 마십시오, 여러분. 각자의 개성이 있는 거죠. 민트 초코가 맛없다고 민트 초코 먹는 사람은 뭐라 할 수 없잖아요. 맛없는 거 먹는 사람도 존중해야죠.
Here we are, the deepest depths. They say that the weirdest shit lives deep in the ocean. Faker loves penguins? In December 2019, Faker's trip to a zoo in China got some attention, particularly this picture of him hanging out with penguins.
처음에는 단지 펭귄을 보거나 돌고래를 보는 줄 알았는데 만지거나 그런 게 있더라고요. 그래서 좀 당황스러웠는데 쉽게 해보지 못하는 경험이라고 생각을 했고 또 되게 촉감도 좋아가지고 즐거운 경험이었던 것 같습니다.
He even changed his Twitter account's profile picture to this shot and has kept it since. And it's been over a year and a half. However, when asked by Horizon Esports if he'd like to have one move into the T1 facility, he was a bit more reserved.
T1 프런트에서 펭귄을 집안에서 키울 수도 있다고 하시면 찬성하시겠습니까?
저는 반대하겠습니다.
왜입니까?
펭귄이 너무 난폭하더라고요. 그래서 저희 키보드랑 마우스를 다 부술 것 같습니다.
Weird commercials. When you're a star, your endorsement is worth money. But even though Faker doesn't seem to be hurting for cash, he's definitely appeared in a few strange commercials. Whether he's driving a bus,
버스 탈래?
cosplaying as Ezreal,
타임이 따오라.
or doing Dorito ninjutsu?
Speed of his hand signs. Nobody's that fast.
I think the Ezreal one is the worst. I mean, if Baker hand-delivered something to me, I'd at least have the courtesy to invite him in for some broccoli or something. Faker's insane camera controls. If you're a high-level League player, you watch pro streams, or you're an OG who played StarCraft, then you're probably aware that there are camera controls that let you immediately move your camera to specific parts of the map using a keybind. And Faker is notorious for taking full advantage of this perspective flipping mechanic. So notorious, in fact, that several parodies of his frenetic flipping around have been made. What exactly is he flipping his camera around to look at? And what is it like to be Faker and buy milk tea? Faker actually watched the video and seemed to think it was pretty funny. If that's actually how he buys milk tea, I think I'll just stick to what I normally do. When the employee tells me to enjoy my drink, I'll just make eye contact and awkwardly respond, "You too." Well, we went deeper than the penguins usually do. There was so much to fit into this video and plenty that we had to cut. So was there anything that you expected to see in this video that we missed? Or anything that particularly surprised you? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, eat your broccoli. Josh, you f***ed it up in a big way. Before we fully submerge our glistening bodies in Faker lore, I don't know why I said that. It got really erotic for me all of a sudden. We're like submerging ourselves in it. Listen, things are heating up down here, you know? And I can't say I'm opposed. Disappointed. When you need it, you just need it. That last one was kind of threatening, bro. I was like, you need it.